Hi, students. This is Heather Hammond-Williams again. I wanted to go over our guidance and discipline beliefs paper. So this one's a very interesting paper. I'm going to learn a little bit more about you, which is great, I feel. One of the things you first have to do when we're talking about this assignment is you have to do the inventory list questionnaire first. So please do that first before we even lecture on it, because it's going to be very important that you kind of get a true answers. So after, lecturing and hearing about this, you're like, oh, I kind of don't want to be this face. I don't want to be that face. So make sure you answer it and kind of know that some of the questions are going to be a little hard, kind of deciding which one it is. Or maybe you're like, I don't want to do either of these. Pick the best one out of the two. That's for you. That's actually, we're going to go over it in class. It is in the module if you want to look at it. And you can even score yourself day one of the class, which would probably even be a better baseline for your true results. So I'm going to influence you a little bit. Hopefully, right? So with this paper, let's kind of go about some formatting of it and what the paper is. So, it is 100 points, so that's a lot of points. So I do that inventory list that I was just talking about with actually your scores. I do want that. So I know right now, with everything that's going on, or if you don't have a printer and things like that, I will accept it if you just handwrite it and then circle the one that was yours. Your response. That's fine with me. You do have to tally it and total it. It has tells you what it does in the actual instructions, and you're going to determine which face are you. So are you relationship listening face, or are you confronting contracting face, or are you rules and consequence face? Well, we're going to see some of you might lean more towards one versus, the other two, or some of you might be kind of a split down the middle of all three. I want to really emphasize whatever your score is, it's not a bad score, okay? I just really emphasize that. So it's like, I got this, Miss Heather. And I'm like, that's okay. So score yourself. Once you score yourself, that's when you can start writing the paper, because that's what the connection of the paper is. So the first part you're going to be doing is writing an introduction. So it really needs to be about a paragraph in length, if not more. So a paragraph is at least five sentences or more. With that, you're going to be talking about the teacher behavior continuum, which is what we're going to be focusing on. You'll probably hear me a lot in class calling it the TBC. So the TBC is actually this. It's from Wolfgang. So all the Wolfgang readings that I have uploaded, that's where we're getting all this information from. Wolfgang's amazing. We'll chat about Wolfgang. So what you're going to be doing is basically defining what teacher behavior continuum is. You can get that on Wolfgang. Kind of explain what it is. You're going to need to address the three phases. So the relationship listening, confronting, contracting, rules and consequence. So I want you to define each of them and kind of explain it. And you're going to need to cite an APA from Wolfgang. So I do have that in the APA samples to help you with that too. So that's your introduction. Now you're going to get the reaction to the face you scored with. What did you get? So you need to tell me, what did you get? So, maybe you got relationship listening face. And so are you shocked that you got this or not? So what you also need to kind of tell me, let me not jump ahead of myself. Let me explain this section really quick. I get excited. So with this, you're going to talk about what face you got. So this is kind of your reaction to the face. So this is going to be about 2 pages. You're going to need to cite, and there's some specifics to there to get you to 2 pages, because most students are like, 2 pages. I'm like, 2 pages? That's easy. Come on. No, just kidding. So with your reaction, the first part, you're going to define the face that you got. So based on what the inventory results were, how many did you get? Did you get 6 relationship listening? Did you get 2 rules and consequences? I want specifics like that. So are you aligned with what you thought you would be? So maybe you got relationship listening phase, and you were shocked. You thought you're going to get rules and consequences, or vice versa. Maybe you got rules and consequences, and you're like, I'm more of an RL. I'm more of a relationship listening phase. Why did I score rules and consequences? And it happens, you guys. Don't freak out about that. I want you to tell me about it, though. So, do you think that this aligns to what you thought? Are you okay? Are you yeah, I'm definitely a rules and consequence, phase. I get it. And, I want you to kind of tell me the reaction, what you got, what you think you should have got, or are you aligned with what you got? So the big part of this to get, big points, because 20 points is a lot, right, is your influences. So we have to understand when we're looking at how we interact with children and kind of our belief systems about child rearing, parenting, teaching, all these practices, we actually usually get these from our parents. So you can blame them all you want. Just kidding. We are going to, it's generational. We typically behave the way our parents did. So some of us, if we had, parents that were very behaviorist, we're probably going to have a lot more rules and consequences. Or, it can be connections to a lot of different things. So what I want you to do is really kind of tell me, who specifically probably influenced your choice. Like, was your mom like always talking to you about, things and giving you suggestions, really give me an illustration of some examples to align to the face that you received. What I want you to do is really tell me a story about it. Like, tell me a story that really reminded you, like, yeah, when my parent did this, or maybe my aunt, or maybe my grandmother, like whoever influenced you, maybe it was a teacher. So you can go with any story you want. Just give me a story and give me some detail to that. Are you happy with the face you got? Are you happy with getting rules and consequences? Are you like, I don't mind using rules and consequences, but I do kind of want to work on my relationship listening phase, or my confronting and contracting. And like for my little passive souls, they might be like, maybe I need to work on rules and consequences. And we'll talk about that more in class, so don't worry. But you need to really kind of tell me, are you happy with it, or why not? So all that's going to be the reaction segment of the paper. And then you're going to have, which is a bulk of the paper, is the summary of your responses. So you're basically going to review the responses that you provided. You're actually going to give me, on question, and don't say like question 6 and then give me like, on question 6, I answered, da, 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 and I really felt this way because, or maybe there's a part where you're like, I didn't like either responses. So I just picked this one because it seemed a little better. However, if I could have done it, how I would do it, I would have done it this way. I'm okay with you going that way too. Was it hard to answer that question because it was really, you didn't like either choice, or maybe they were both really like, oh, I could do either. Up to you which one it is. Explain all that though. I do want detail. Tell me don't just tell me, yeah, some of them were conflicting. I didn't know which one to pick. I want specifics. I want to say like on question 5, I really struggled with that one because I kind of like both answers, and explain to me why. So I want specifics. We're 30 points in that section. That's a lot of points. So then you're going to really talk about, what, now that you've studied the 3 faces, because you're going to do this paper, of course, after we go over lecture. So I want you to score yourself before we go over lecture. But once you write this paper, it's usually going to be after we lectured on everything. So after we lectured, would you respond differently to some of these questions now that you have more information or more examples? And I want specifics, like, yeah, on question such and such, I said this, but now after lecturing and learning about confronting and contracting, I think I would respond a little bit more like this. So then you're going to start affiliating with their approach. Are you wanting to change your approach? If not, maybe you're just natural at this and you're like, oh, good. Explain to me, even if you're good. Okay, I want some explanation. And then you're going to have a conclusion. So in your conclusion, you remember this is about a paragraph. So, paragraphs, in-depth paragraph. What did you learn about the TBC faces? How has this changed your interactions with children? What your views are? Were you surprised what you learned about yourself? Maybe, maybe not. Do you think this will impact your journey as an educator, like learning these different skills and different approaches for different kids? And then I really want you to connect some of the Wolfgang or textbook or PowerPoint into this section too. So you do need to cite. So you need to cite at least one time in there. And then we're going to have the quality of writing, of course, and if you're following all your APA stuff. And then I want a copy. So this copy can be handwritten, because the copy of your actual notes, if you can't print it out, don't worry. You take a picture of it, send it to me. So I want an APA title page, APA reference page. So you want to upload it there. And then I have like the scoring of everything. So hopefully that helps. So remember, no face is bad. So whatever you got is what you got, and that's okay. And you're just going to write a paper on it. So hopefully that helped with that, and we'll discuss this more in class too. So have a nice day, you guys.